Hi guys, Jennifer here at Nested Green HQ. Today I've got a great surprise for you. Katherine is going to be working on a recycled table using Annie Sloan's chalk paint. All in all, it's going to be fun and we're really looking forward to seeing it completed. Let's get started. Here are the things that we'll need.
Annie Sloan paint, of course. I'm using Provence and pure white. Annie Sloan clear wax. Optional, Annie Sloan dark wax. Paint brushes, any kind will do. You'll need one for every paint color you choose. In this case, I'll need 3 because of my Provence, white, and the mixture of the two. You'll also need a special wax brush. You could use a standard paintbrush if you don't want to invest in one, but I highly recommend it because it'll help blend your wax into the texture of the paint and give you the best results possible. When we get to waxing, I'll show you what I mean. If you're mixing paint, you'll want a reusable or recyclable container for it. I'm using a painting bucket purchased from the hardware store, a few soft, clean, and lint-free cotton rags for the waxing stage, sandpaper 120 grit, extremely fine steel wool, an optional wood filler and primer, drop cloth to prevent the messes. Typically, for projects like this, you may want to work outside. However, right now it's winter in Canada and it's very cold outside, so I'm just going to stay inside today. We're going to start by making our base color. Typically, one of these cans can cover a significant amount of square footage. We can't be accurate because it varies according to what you do with it. So here I've made a fairly light blue color, and I think that it's a bit too light for what I want to start with. So I'm going to go and add a little bit more of the blue to get the shade that I'm looking for. I'm going to apply 2 coats of paint, the first in this light blue color and the second will be Provence, straight up. It's fun to experiment with different layering of color, so start with the base color of your choice and go lighter, darker on the second coat if you like. There really is no wrong way to do this. That's the beauty of this product, it's hard to mess up. With this table, there are a few bumps and bruises, but I'm okay with those. But if you have any snags, imperfections, or safety hazards that bother you, this would be a good time to sand and wipe those down. If you have dents and holes in what you're working on and don't want them, you can use wood filler and primer to fix that. You will need to allow the wood filler about an hour to fully set, and then prime, and again wait till it dries. If you're noticing your paint is a bit too thick, you can add a few dribbles of water to get it to return to its original consistency. You'll want to get the paint on quickly, working in small areas at a time because it dries quickly. As you can see here, I've started painting my base color. There's not too much technique to this. Generally crisscross X motions are the best as they give the best texture. I've missed a few spots, but that's okay. I wanted to let some of the original color pop through slightly. And then when I'm distressing it later, you'll see the difference. You can apply the paint as opaque or spotty as you want. Thankfully, the paint doesn't take too long to dry. Usually about 2 hours in between layers. It'll feel chalky, but nothing will come off. Also, don't let color or texture worry you if you're not in love with it right away. When you wax it, it'll really pull everything out. So I've come back from my cup of tea. So now I'm going to start my second coat, which is the original Provence color, which will help cover a lot of the original paint from the table and create more texture to the table. You can see how the 2 layers of color give it a bit of marbling effect, which is what I wanted. What a difference from the original table.
I've
I've let the table set again, and now I'm going to do the whitewash. This step is optional, depending on the colors and look you want to create. You need to be quick with this step as you want to paint a thin layer and basically brush it off with a clean rag. I started here doing wipes in a back and forth method, but it actually turned out better when I did the same technique as I did when I was painting with just rags instead. Rinse out your rags so you'll need excess water, and basically I'll be smudging the paint into the grooves to create texture. It's a subtle difference, but it really looks great. See along the edge of the table? It brings out all the natural patina. Let that dry. I've finished the whitewash. To begin the waxing, you will again want to work in small areas at a time, as it dries very quickly. Just let your brush kiss the wax and then scrub it into the table in a circular motion. This is why a natural round brush is a good investment. It really gets in all the grooves. It should be dry to the touch right after you're finished your area. If it's still tacky, you'll need to buff it some more. Notice how I'm switching off from waxing and buffing? You'll also notice the paint colors become far more vibrant compared to the non-waxed surface. I finished a layer of wax, and now I'm going to distress the table by sanding the surface and edges. Distressing is an optional step as well. I really wanted to bring out the curves and antiquity of the table without it looking too old. I'm using the 120 grit sandpaper and lightly going over spots and edges. When you're satisfied with the level of distressing you've achieved, another coat of wax is a must to seal all the spots you've exposed during the distressing. With any dining or food service surface, the pros recommend at least 4 layers of wax total. So that's what I did, but only 2 on the bottom. To make a glossier top, I applied the fine steel wool in small circles. This helps get rid of any last bits of residue hanging around before a final buffing. Be sure your cloth is clean and dry before buffing. Buffing is just a whole lot of elbow grease. And there you go, finished! Look how gorgeous it is. I'm so happy with how it turned out.
Thanks guys for watching. If you liked what you saw, don't forget to subscribe below to see more, and please like us and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google+, and we've got a bunch of others. Since we're new to YouTube here, we'd love to hear from you guys. Please let us know if there's anything you want to see, and we'll try to make that happen. We hope that you come back soon. Bye!